So today's topic of conversation is aliens, them little green men from outer space. Recent years, have you noticed, even the mainstream media is getting in on the action. There's been grainy footage of alleged UFOs attacking F-15 fighter jets. I think all of this UFO stuff, it's a load of codswallop. You know, if there was UFOs, the amount of people carrying these phones around, taking video clips, there's millions of us. Now, sooner or later, somebody would have captured one of these flying objects in 4HD, wouldn't they? But they haven't. So the question that I want to ask today is, who's pumping out this nonsense? And, you know, is it just, it's not just teenagers, is it, in bedrooms making stuff up? This is the mainstream. This is government approved. Well, I guess you could almost call it a conspiracy theory, couldn't you? So let's finally get to grips with this term, conspiracy theory. What does it actually mean? A conspiracy is a plan made by two or more people. The plan's secret, and the goal, the objective of the plan, might be to either harm somebody or to defraud them in some way, to trick them into doing something that they otherwise wouldn't have done. My favourite all-time conspiracy theory has got to be Saddam Hussein weapons of mass destruction. And the conspiracy theory was concocted by Tony Blair. And Blair alleged that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction and he was conspiring with Al-Qaeda to launch terror attacks against Great Britain, and he was going to use his weapons of mass destruction at 45 minutes notice. So this was an example of a conspiracy theory that wasn't true. It was a fraudulent one, and the objective behind the conspiracy theory was that it was going to garner public support for a second invasion of Iraq. And the reason why Tony Blair wanted to do that was to depose Saddam Hussein so he could privatise Iraq's oil and get rid of somebody that he wasn't able to control. So what could be behind the aliens conspiracy theory? Who would want to make up a story about little green men existing and them colluding with national governments? Because that's what these conspiracy theorists are actually claiming, that aliens not only exist, but they're in contact with our governments and they're communicating with them. The first possible explanation for why somebody might want to concoct an alien conspiracy theory is, well, it's anti-Christian, I guess. So Christians believe that God created human beings and that life on earth is special and we're special, and it's quite an uplifting message. Atheists, on the other hand, they reject God's message, obviously by definition, and they want to kind of propagate this idea that we're not special at all. There's loads and loads of other planets that are inhabited with loads and loads of other species. And indeed, what some of these people claim is that God didn't create man, alien engineers did instead. And this has crept into Hollywood, so some of you might have seen that film, that Ridley Scott film, Prometheus. There's probably been other of these films trying to push this same sort of idea that humans were created, not by God, but by aliens, which, you know, for me as a Christian, I just think it's laughable, really. The second possible reason for the alien conspiracy theory nonsense is political. So for many years now, the likes of Tony Blair, George Bush Jr., George Bush Sr., Gordon Brown, you know, you can watch them, watch all their speeches. They've been banging on and on about a new world order, which is their shorthand for a one world government. So get rid of national governments and instead let's just have a one world government. And this is kind of an undeniable trend, you know, since World War II. We've seen the growth of organisations like the United Nations, the World Bank, the IMF, and even the European Union. And these organisations have transferred power from nation states to these supranational bodies. So this is an undeniable trend. So how does aliens fit into this? Well, it could be, you know, that maybe there's a war, or maybe there's some sort of biological attack in the future, or a deadly pandemic, which subsequently kills a lot of people. Maybe there's a medical treatment that backfires and kills millions of people. So in the chaos created by that, you know, maybe politicians, local politicians, are held to blame, and people are looking for a change anyway. So, you know, the aliens could come along, magicked up with a bit of CGI, and the idea being that the aliens will say, well, you can't have any of these wars anymore. You guys, you're too stupid. You keep on mass murdering each other. So what we're going to insist on, or we'll destroy your planet, is that you've got to have a one world government. And that objective of having a one world government would sit nicely with many politicians. So how could they get it? Well, just cobble up some cobblers about aliens wanting a one world government. Again, you know, there's been predictive programming going on about this already. So the film The Day the Earth Stood Still, that was basically the plot of that film. An alien comes to Earth and tells them, you're going to have a one world government or else. And the final possible explanation for trying to concoct the aliens are coming conspiracy theory could be environmentalism, or more accurately, to provide the justification for some sort of technocratic government with a fig leaf of environmentalism thrown in. So the idea here was that the aliens say, well, you know, there's too many of you, there's far too many of you, and you're burning through the world's resources. The finite resources are all running out, and you're turning the planet into what we saw in that Disney film, WALL-E, right? So what we're going to say to you guys is, unless you do what we aliens tell you to do, to go for sustainable development, they might not call it sustainable development, but so here's the deal, yeah? You're going to have to establish a form of green technocracy, you know, so personalized carbon credits and private cars and flying, where you can forget all of that because the planet can't sustain it anymore. So you're all going to have to walk by bicycle. And because we need to reduce the population quickly, we're going to force anybody over the age of 70 to be euthanized because it's needed. And if you don't agree to it, we're going to blow you up, or something stupid like that. Or we'll release a virus. That's it. We'll release a virus that will kill the people that we need to be killed. So to summarize then, I don't believe in aliens. It just doesn't stack up, you know. There's no evidence. They're supposed to be around for years. Everyone's got camera phones. So why are the mainstream media trying to push aliens? You know, these days, if you put anything on YouTube that's, you know, about these, well, I can't even talk about it, you get thrown off, right? But you can come up with some real cock and bull about aliens, and YouTube doesn't remove that type of misinformation. So it has some sort of official backing, doesn't it, you know? So actions are motivated by objectives. You know, human behaviour is purposeful. So my question is, well, why is the BBC and the mainstream, why are they talking a little bit more about aliens? There must be a reason for it. And those are my reasons. Those are the reasons that I've come up with for you. So it's you know, as a cover story for some form of green technocracy, global government, a cover story for that. And then, you know, an anti-Christian move. So if you think I've lost the plot completely, please tell me. You know, if you think that I've lost the plot because I don't think aliens exist, definitely write me a comment under this YouTube video, yeah? All right. And finally, for the alien lovers, God bless you.